I mean, I don't have to be friends with him. I'm not racist, but I don't want my daughter to marry a black guy, just period. Why? Give me a reason. Why do you think that is, or how do you think, give me a reason how do you think that's not a racist comment? That's deep down in you, that you think you are better than someone else based on their color. And let's not even talk about the Indians, the Pakistanis, the Nepalis. That's a whole different discussion with the Arabs or even the North Africans. Really, I'm not sure, because I never had a discussion with them. If this is too uncomfortable for you to hear, if this is too awkward, if you feel attacked, honestly speaking, I'm not here to make you feel comfortable. I'm not here to make you feel, oh my God. I'm not here to make you feel I'm not here to make you feel comfortable. I'm here to speak the truth. And I believe there are so many people obviously out there that's speaking the truth. They are standing for the good thing.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Right, so in today's video, we're going to be talking about how people from North Africa and Arabs have always been accused of being racist and discriminative. So in today's video, we're going to be focusing particularly on one Arabic woman who will be calling out her family and Arabs in general for how they treat black people.
Right, and this is because of the instances of racism she's seen with her family, and also she says that her father raised her to not see any color, but she has seen instances because her younger brother is darker than all of them. So what are we talking about, guys? Let's watch this video and then we come back and talk about it. Please remember to subscribe if you're new to this channel. Also, let us know what you think about this video.
So growing up in Germany as an ethnic person, as an immigrant child, I never saw myself actually as an immigrant child or as someone who's an outcast. I never ever had any encounters, any racist movements, maybe on a later stage, but they never really bothered me. But in my family, we are 4 siblings. 3, me and my sister and my brother have pretty much light skin, like super white. And my 4th and youngest brother has actually a dark skin, which is, nowadays you can say he's light skin for someone who's African, but he is pretty dark skinned for me, or compared to me and my siblings, and compared also for the Tunisian world. So okay, let me get the for the North African world. He might not even feel the way I felt when I used to hear comments about his color when he was younger. People used to say, oh, he looks Pakistani. You know, sometimes the problem is in the North African, and maybe also the Arab or every community, actually. I'm not gonna pin it down to or narrow it down to us. They give comments without thinking how the other person feels, without any thoughts of how that might affect someone. I heard he looks like Pakistani, he's too dark. In Tunis, he told me himself, once he got slapped actually by a policeman, because the policeman did not understand how on earth someone that dark, and I'm not saying my brother is super dark. Obviously, if you would see pictures, you'd be like, what's wrong with you? But he is actually dark compared to us, like I said. So for a Tunisian policeman, he was not understanding why. He told him literally, someone with your color lives in Germany and I am in Tunis. And these things just stick with me. And even like at the immigration, my brother and my other brother are being together and, you know, giving the passport for the security. It's always the same. There's no way this is your brother. There's no way this is your sister. There's no way you guys are family. Like, because he's the dark child and we are all like the white kids in the family. That's why when I grew up, I never ever saw color. I never understood there is really a difference between me and my brother, or between me and my cousin who is super dark. I never thought it's an issue. It hurt me so bad when I heard these comments towards my brother. He used to also tell me obviously that the police in Germany would also stop him every now and then, just obviously based on him being a guy and an immigrant child and looks super dark with his beard as a Muslim guy in Europe. I have never ever been stopped. I have never ever been dealt with in a bad way. I'm a Muslim girl who wears hijab ever since I'm 11. I should also be actually affected by these attributes that I show to the world. However, I have never been. But growing up having someone in your family actually going through that racism is so made me feel like, not I have to speak up for every single person, it just did not make sense to me how on earth is someone that looks just slightly different than us is treated in a completely different way. And I started noticing this because when I got older, obviously, and I used to go to the beach, to Tunis, and like I said, I enter Tunis, I'm like a white kid. Obviously, I go to the beach on a daily basis and I come out being, you know, super, super tan and super dark. And my family, and I remember this neighbor, she would always say, oh my God, you used to be so pretty. What happened to you in the last couple of weeks? Now you're so, you know, they don't want to say ugly, but so, ooh, like, do something. You know, we have specific creams in Tunis and specific masks that keeps you white, and all that mentality that a white person or someone with a lighter skin, let's not say white person because we still obviously not white people, but someone with a lighter skin has always is always more beautiful, is always more pure. Many people want to speak to them, many people want to surround themselves with, and if you're dark, technically, oh yeah, he's nice, she's cute, but I mean, come on, she's a dark girl. You know, how many comments did I hear about, yeah, he's gonna marry this, yeah, but she's dark. Wallahi. And okay, let's continue. The problem is that some people don't even know they are racist, and the comments that are giving, and the comments that are, you know, the words that are coming out of their mouth are so hurtful. I really do not understand how someone else feels, because I'm not in their shoes, I'm not black, I'm not even brown, and I feel it deep in my heart and I feel it deep in my soul that you make someone else feels less worthy than you because his color. I find it very funny because to other people, there is always someone who's whiter than you, and there's always someone who's darker than you. So technically, if these, you know, in my childhood, these comments have been made, I always wanted to say, because I was too young, obviously I never said something, and I'm like, in my head, but a German person thinks I'm dark, and I'm white for an North African girl, and maybe a Finnish girl, a German person is way too dark for her, because Finnish and Swedish people, or the Nordics, are, you know, so white that you can barely see them. It's like, there is always someone who's lighter than you. Go to Syria and Lebanon, you will see girls that are so white, and so what? I'm not even going to go into details about the first call of prayer in the times of the Prophet Muhammad Bilal, who was dark. He was a freed slave, and he was called by the Prophet to make the adhan as the first ever call to prayer. Mu'adhan, we would say. Do you think back in the days they cared about black and not black? They cared, but I'm talking about the Prophet, I'm talking about the Islam, I'm talking about our religion, that we constantly say, oh my God, that, you know, the people who would, what bugs me is the people who are praying and believing in God, and the people who are crying in the Taraweeh and during Ramadan, Tahajjud, and all these things, Salat al-Jumu'ah, or the Friday prayers. People would cry, and people would ask God for forgiveness, and people would, I don't know, feed the needy and stuff, not knowing their foundation in life is based on being a goddamn racist. And when I always used to ask my friends and be like, dude, that comment you just made is unbelievable. They say, no, I'm not a racist, but I mean, I don't have to be friends with him. I'm not racist, but I don't want my daughter to marry a black guy, just period. Why? Give me a reason. Why do you think that is, or how do you think, give me a reason how do you think that's not a racist comment? That's deep down in you, that you think you are better than someone else based on their color. And let's not even talk about the Indians, the Pakistanis, the Nepalis. That's a whole different discussion with the Arabs, or even the North Africans. Really, I'm not sure, because I never had a discussion with them. And when you tell them, for me, because I noticed even way worse racism. There's a difference between racism in North Africa, 100%, and the racism in the Middle East and the Arab world is a whole different level. I can tell you that the racism in North Africa is really based on lack of knowledge. No one thinks I'm better than the other person. No one thinks I'm higher, I'm whiter, because obviously towards the end we're all Africans, or you are Amazigh, or I don't know, your blood is Arab, or whatever they think they are. I had an encounter, for example, with my mom. I mean, when you start being honest, you have to be honest all the way. This encounter happened, I don't know, 10 years ago? 10 years ago, I believe. And one of my, okay, I think my sister will not like this, but she was in a relationship with someone who was African American, but he was Muslim. So obviously I grew up all my life never ever having any discussions about racism, because my dad raised me in a way that I'm Muslim, period. I have not even been raised as you are Muslim Sunni, you are following the Maliki madhab, you are this and this color, your great grandparents are Arab or Amazigh or whatsoever. I have never had these discussions with my father. He just made sure we identify as human and Muslim, and I cannot thank God and my parents for that. That really, like, if I see my friends and all the people around me, all the discussions and all the topics about them being, I don't know, they are this, they are that, but no, I'm this and that, and I'm always the only one in the group. I'm like, why does it even matter? It's cool to know what you are, it's cool to know your DNA or your ancestors, but why does it even matter? Because once that discussion starts, it's not gonna end. You think you're better than this person, you think you're better than the Moroccan person, or the Syrian person thinks he's better than, I don't know, the Jordanian thinks he's better than a Khaliji. It's not gonna end. That's why I love the way I have been raised, and I have been blind to colors, religions, whatever. You are a goddamn human. So this encounter was, like I said, my sister was engaged. No, the guy wanted to, ask for her hand in marriage, and she told my mom. And my mom found out he is African American. She didn't understand what it means, obviously, back in the days. So we said, yeah, he's black. I didn't think we did have to say that, but it just, happened that we said that. And she was shocked. She was so shocked that it's not gonna happen. She couldn't find words that it's really gonna happen in her own family, that her own daughter is being with African American. The funny part is she didn't even realize what she's saying is racist. That's why I'm telling you, there's really a huge difference between you are really deep down hardcore racist and what you say, what you say, and you still continue, proving your point, or you just really didn't realize what you say is so bad and so wrong that actually you're considered racist. So I remember I had my sister-in-law. She's been discussing the topic with my mom, and I obviously as well, because at that time I was living in America, and it is really not easy to make someone understand their point of views. Because when I used to tell her, Mom, what you say, and I was infuriated, I was so sad, I was so shocked, it hurt me so bad that my own mom thinks that way, where the entire family doesn't think that way, considering my brother is being dark as well. But the comment would be like, yeah, but my son is he's cute, he's cute, he's I don't know what. And the amount of time that we took the time to speak to my mom, to make her understand. And when I just said one sentence, actually, and she felt so bad, and subhanAllah, it changed her perception from today to tomorrow. It changed her perception overnight. You can really make someone give him a wake-up call or a slap in the face, without obviously slapping your parents. And I told her, I'm not gonna give you, Mom, I'm not gonna give you, what happened back in the days with the Prophet and Bilal and Mu'adhin and all that, the story that we always bring up when it comes to black people. Allah who created me, you, and the whole world. He created also obviously the Africans, the Indians, the Pakistanis. How, if you are refusing someone based on his skin color, forget even the fact that you're racist, you are refusing and rejecting what God created. Sorry, let that sink in. You are refusing what Allah created. He decided that I have the skin color. He decided that that person is going to be African hardcore, because obviously we have light skin, we have dark skin. He is deciding on every single thing on earth. How do you think you have a different say in this? You know, and then it really hits you. If you are a true believer, you switch in a second. Because her reason was, I was never really aware, and her comments was obviously, I know that my parents are not racist, and I know a lot of North Africans are not racist. They are just not used to have Africans around them. My mom never was raised with Africans. She never saw them in Tunis. She just sees them on TV, you know, like for example, maybe the rap music video clips, etc. And with time, she is so shocked actually how other people think about it. I said, Mom, remember back in the days how you used to see it? You're not a racist. It's just you were not really educated. So number one, you really have to educate people around you, your parents, your friends, your colleagues, whatsoever. They might not be racist, they just don't see the full picture. However, on the other side, we do have the big racists in the Middle East, where I lived for like 7 years. I saw with my own eyes, I heard, and I know, even if I would have discussions with them, they say, I don't care. He is African, I don't care. He is Pakistani, I don't care. He is Indian. As if you, as an Arab with your light skin, have a higher stage in Jannah compared to these people with a slightly darker color.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about the episode we've just played you on the comment section. You know, the fact that this lady is coming out and calling out her own community for racism, it's normally not acknowledged in Arabic communities that they don't like black people, or they discriminate against black people. So for her to come out and talk about it, I think it's due to the fact that at an early age, her family experienced this because they had a darker brother. And my question is, had she not have had a darker brother, would she still be sensitive towards the plight of black people and black Africans?
So right now, what I'm getting from her, which I think I've seen with a few other non-melanated people, especially white people and other races that don't have concentration of melanin, who come up to speak about racism. One thing that I've seen with them is that they all say that the people who are racist in their community are racist because they don't know any better and because they've not mingled with melanated people.
Another thing, guys, let's talk about the self-hate in such communities. I think self-hate is just, it's there in every community, because the lady described a situation where she went to swim, she went to the beach and came back dark, and the neighbor kept making those little comments, you know, and she even told us about the creams that they use, to keep their skin to not get dark, if I can say that. And I'm like, you know, it's like these companies maximize on the insecurities that people have and the systems that have been beaten so much into communities about black not being beautiful. But another incident also she mentioned was the incident of her brother. So can you imagine the kind of hate black people get just for being black? Because her brother told her one day he got slapped by a traffic police officer. And the only reason why that happened to him was because of the color of his skin. And the comment that the police made, how can he live in Germany with that skin color, and he looks like that and he still lives in Tunisia? So my thing is, it's like that comment was meant was meant to come across as though people who looked like him didn't have any business in Germany.
Right, and this is why I feel like right now such people in certain communities that want to be white so bad or are adjacent to the whiteness that they look like, you know, I feel like their biggest disease is that wanting to be white, which is the most cancerous thing in our community right now, because these are the very same people who propagate and make racism continue.
Yeah, North Africa has been mentioned a lot, and this is not the first time we're hearing about North Africa and it being racist against black people, or if you want to call it discriminatory. Because I was watching on YouTube, there was this YouTuber, he was black from another African country, who went to Morocco. And in Morocco, he got to experience a lot of racism. There was this particular time where he was trying to catch a ride to the next destination where he was going to, and he couldn't, like, he stood there for 4 hours, nobody stood for him, and the buses kept on passing him until he decided to go to the next police stop and ask them to help him get a ride. And they blatantly told him, looking like that, he was not going to get any ride. So, and I'm telling myself, because this lady also mentioned something that we need to focus on, and she talked about how North Africans, they're ignorant, and other Arabs, they're ignorant because they've never mingled with the Africans, and that is to mean the black Africans. And I'm like, how can you be in the continent of Africa where you know majority is melanated people who are found here, and you use that as an ignorant point, or you use that as an excuse for treating other people wrongly, and yet you're in Africa?
Right, because if her excuse is that her people don't know any better up there in North Africa, you know, North Africa is not the same distance as America, or it's not the same distance as any other places like Europe where racism is, right? So North Africa, if they truly wanted to tackle this issue or know melanated people more, really all they have to do is look east, west, or down south for them to find any melanated people. It is not an excuse for them to go off of what they see on television and assume that black people, majority black people, behave as what they're seeing on television. They can make a choice to, if they want to talk about racism, if they want to know about black people, for them to go and mingle with the actual black people, for them to get a perspective of what or who black people are.
And you know, another thing that really I can't get my fingers on is the fact that her mom was complaining when the daughter brought home a black American guy who had intentions to marry her. And I'm like, how do you discriminate against someone who looks different from you, or how do you show racism towards a person who has a different color from you, yet you have a dark skin colored son? How do you do that? And then how do you come to complain to people that people are treating your son differently? So guys, let us know what you think about this episode. We'd really like to read your thoughts and opinions on the comment section. Also, we want to thank you for joining us on this episode. Let's catch you on the next.